So today, big announcement from Pfizer about some of the data on their vaccine. That was a very positive set of news, but we have to be practical and realistic. There's only so many doses that will be available in the first round, and unfortunately for college students, you're not going to be in the first group of people that will be eligible for that vaccine. So it is my opinion that we will probably get some access to doses of vaccine in the first quarter of 2021. Early could be February, realistic maybe more March. Number one, it would be hard to justify knowing that we're going to send off thousands of students and allow thousands of faculty and staff to go off to wherever they're going to go and interact with others and potentially come back. And they're not going to just interact amongst Auburn people. Multiple schools may have spring break too. So we're going to be, again, interacting with a lot of other people outside of the Auburn community. So it'd be hard to justify that. In addition to that, we have the precedents. This year we had spring break, and after spring break is when Lee County became a hotspot for COVID. We have that history, so in my humble professional opinion, it would be unwise for us to do that. Secondly, with regards to study abroad, as you can tell right now in Europe, the virus is running pretty rampant. Their wave is actually worse than the initial wave that was seen earlier this year. A number of these countries are in lockdowns. The ability to fly in and out or to even freely travel within the country is limited. And being in a foreign country, foreign language, foreign laws and restrictions, all different laws and restrictions, it would be way too early to consider doing a study abroad in the spring. Clearly, it's not just the physical aspects of this virus that has again affected every one of us, myself included. There is the mental health aspects of this, something that we have come to recognize more and more. So in planning the spring semester, the efforts were to put in some wellness days to possibly give people time for a break from the monotony of doing online Zoom classes or running around. We firmly believe that with more in-person classes that the mental health will also improve, but with no spring break, there is an effort made to at least give people a chance to, again, mentally recover. So the health and safety of our athletes who are students and the people that support them, the coaches, trainers, and staff, is a major priority. And again, the virus and whether or not players were infected or exposed on either team has to be taken into account as to whether or not an optional game should be played. And I think that being the case, if there's data coming out of whichever teams, that's a decision that has to be made. What is in the best interest in the health and safety of those teams? Sorry to keep pounding this thought into everyone's head, but we are getting close to Thanksgiving travel and students returning home, faculty and staff may be traveling to see family members or have family members come into town to interact. The biggest concern right now for the spread of the virus, especially with the degree of activity that is happening across many states, is small gatherings and the close interactions. I'm not saying that you can't have those. I'm saying that you need to take necessary steps in advance to protect both yourselves as well as your family and friends that you will interact with. So, for example, starting today, you need to be looking at 14 days from today. So, if you're thinking you're going to be traveling 14 days from today or 14 days from tomorrow, you need to start locking down your interaction with others if you have not had COVID. And if you have had COVID, if it's been more than 90 days, based on what the science is telling us right now. That may change in the future, but right now, that's the cutoff. So you need to start locking down, limiting your interactions, limiting going to locations where the potential for you to acquire COVID would be higher, all in an effort to be responsible, accountable, and then also consider, for those of you that need that information, especially if you have someone who's vulnerable at home or someone who will be coming to spend time, like grandparents and others or older people who will be vulnerable for the holidays, specifically Thanksgiving, spending that time, you need to consider getting testing and pre-scheduling that testing in advance. All testing centers, including the clinic, all have a limited capacity to test, and when that capacity is reached, there's no question that some people are going to be told no or turned away. So if that's something that's important to you to know, then it's time to start acting by self-quarantining and pre-scheduling your test prior to returning home.